let me show you something here. How I know this is a native. First of all, look at the color. Okay. Then, look at the tail. See how the tail is a perfect V? That means that it's not been in a hatchery, in a concrete pool, wearing down its fins. If you ever see a guy pick up a trout and this is wore off, you know that's a hatchery fish.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching and being with us again here on Catch of the Day. Sitting right now across the street from the church and our coffee shop. And this is really an amazing place right here. When I came here as pastor, there was a lot of junk or storage, whatever you want to call it, was in here. You almost couldn't even make it in here. And over a few years and some donations, it became the coffee shop here. Down in Christiansburg, a coffee shop had went out of business, and we were able to buy it out, be able to get the espresso machine and all of those things, the flavors and the coffees and the grinders, to be able to have this. Of course, we really had a vision for it to be a place not only for our people to have fellowship and people to come in and drink coffee, but also to reach out to the college community that's here, because we're right here with Virginia Tech. And the reason I'm sitting here is because I love coming in here and thinking about history, about what has taken place here through the years. A couple in our church, Ray and Charlotte Wright, they were married here years ago. And he's one of our deacons. And they can take me to the place right up to the front where they stood and they got married. We've never refinished the floors in here because you can see where people's feet was placed as they were sitting in the pews. There's some of the wood that is not been worn, which would have been the wood that's under the pew. And then there is the wood right beside of that is worn because of where people have put their feet through the years. And the walls, I have got the old rods that go across, not to keep them from falling in, but to keep them from falling out. And so it was just a structure that they had used a long time ago. There is evidence here in this building. There is evidence of where this building has been historically, or been through historically. You know it's past because of the marks on the floor, the little alcove that is right behind the camera where the rope used to hang down that they would pull on Sunday mornings to ring the bell that would sound out throughout this valley. There's evidence of who's been here, evidence of the past. And in the fly fishing segment, I showed you a trout and showed you how you could tell that whether it was a native or whether it was a stalker because of what the tail looked like. There was evidence, there is evidence of where that trout had been. And in that particular instance, it had been there in that stream. Another trout could have possibly come from a hatchery someplace, and the evidence would have been there because of the tail of where that trout had been. Evidence in that fish, evidence in this building. Now think with me. In Exodus chapter 34, we see Moses on top of Mount Sinai. He has been with God And when he comes down, his face shines so bright they had to put a veil over it. There was evidence of where he had been. He had been with God, and it had shown. It was showing. They could tell there was evidence that he had been with God. I thought about the prodigal son in the book of Luke, verse 15. The prodigal son, he leaves and takes his inheritance, and he goes out, lives a righteous life. Not righteous, riotous life. Worldly life. He ends up losing all and finds himself, when he comes to himself, in the pig pen. He picks himself up and he goes home to the Father. No doubt when he came to the Father, there was evidence of where he had been. There is always going to be evidence of where we have been. This building has stood the test of time. There's scuff marks and divots. There's holes in the wall from nails and little, sometimes pieces of crepe paper where somebody has held some type of a party or shower here. There's evidence of who's been here, of what's been here. Moses spending time with God, there was evidence. Prodigal son being in the world and in the pig pen, and there was evidence. I want us to think today, and I want us to understand that whether we've been with God or whether we've found ourselves strayed or straying, there's going to be evidence in our heart, in our countenance, in our words. Some of us are going to be very discontent. Some of us are going to be very joyful. It's going to show. And so today, what evidence are you showing where you've been? And the great thing about it is right now, right off the bat, after you hear this message, you can bow your head and say, Lord, I want there to be evidence that I've been with you. I want people to know I've been with you. I want my countenance to be a good countenance. I want my heart to be light. I want to have peace. I want to have joy. I want there to be evidence of where I have been, to be good and right and holy and joyful. Hey, thanks so much for watching.